one-on-one with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno, different week around here, so I want to start with your first impressions on Ruben. The way he works, his training methods, his coaching staff. How were the first impressions? Obviously good. It's still the beginning. We didn't have many training sessions yet, but obviously you can see already what's about, how much intensity he wants to put in every training session. He does want to have the same intensity in every exercise as a game day. So it's something that everyone has to be aware of, and he doesn't want anyone to break down and just slow it down. But then him and his staff are really, really open, really strict, but at the same time, really, really open. And everyone feels that can talk with them and have a word with them. Now it's about getting to the game and winning games. In his first interview to the club, he said that against Ipswich, we will have an idea of what he wants to implement here. From the practices you've had these first few days, how much change can fans expect in this first match against Ipswich? I know it's early days, but no, obviously he's a new manager with different ideas, with different methods, so he's going to change things. But at the end of the day, it's about winning the game, and I think obviously he wants to implement the way he wants to play and the way he was doing his things. And I think as a player, you always have to be aware of that, because even sometimes having the same manager, he wants to change and improve things, and this time we changed manager, and when we knew that different things will happen, because no manager in the world works in the same way. Of course, there's a lot of excitement as well with Ruben's arrival. To these fans who are very excited and waiting for changes, how much management do they have to do in terms of expectations and especially patience? Expectations are really high at this every time, and patience is something that doesn't work in football. Not only me, but I think also the staff is aware that they came to one of the biggest clubs in the world. They know the expectation is going to be high. Some people will doubt, others will think that he will come and do everything straight away and be brilliant. So he knows what people are expecting from him. We as players know what is about playing for Man United. The expectations, the pressure and everything. We just have to deal with that. You know both clubs really well, of course, Sporting and Man United. How do you feel the challenges that Ruben faced at Sporting prepared him to take over Man United? Because it's one of the biggest clubs in the world. The levels of pressure is just different. Obviously, Sporting is a big club in Portugal, but at the same time, it doesn't have the same attention as Man United worldwide. I think the manager is aware of that. He knows that he had a lot of pressure at Sporting because Sporting was many years without winning a trophy. Then he got that trophy back to the club. Then it was 2 years where he didn't win. So pressure came on again and he won the league. So I think pressure is always there. It changes by the dimension of the club or the size of the club or how far everything you do goes. At Man United, it goes very far. So he's pretty aware that the job is pretty the same. He's winning games, winning trophies. So with a little bit more attention sometimes, from what you're saying, it seems like the communication has been very good with him since he arrived in these first few days. Even if, not all players were here, he's the type of manager who really speaks a lot to the players. I think communication was one of the key things for him at Sporting. Obviously now it needs to change. It's going to be the barrier of the language, even if he speaks perfectly English. Obviously it's easier for us to explain ourselves in Portuguese than in another language, but I think communication was part of his success, and I think he's really good at that. I think it's going to be a big part for us here at the club too, because he's aware that communication, because media-wise the club is massive, he's going to have to communicate also with the media, but with the players, he's been really good in these first few days. It's really direct. What he wants is what he demands, and we just have to follow the rules. Again, you've watched a lot of his Sporting playing. Do you feel like you kind of got a head start in his ideas? How much do you think you can benefit from that? And, even help with all the games you watched? It depends, because obviously I don't know everything he was doing at the club. I don't know the way he was training and everything. I was watching the games. I know a lot of movements that the players were doing, a lot of the times that they were playing more wide, more inside. But as the manager said to us, it's going to be games where he wants us to play more through the middle, some games more towards the outside, some games he's going to press in a certain way, other games in another way. Even myself, I have to adapt and understand everything he wants. Obviously, I know some of the things, but I just want to improve myself to be better every day. How much adapting do you feel your role will take, especially with the link up with the striker? Because there's been so much analysis on the way Sporting plays and Amorim's ideas. I don't know. It depends where I'm going to play. It depends on the players that I'm going to play in some positions, because everything changes by the player that is playing there. I have to adapt myself to one type of winger, one type of striker, one type of midfielder. I need to understand their strengths. What's the best pass for them? If he's into feet, if he's into space. For myself as a player, I'm just about to adapt as a player I have by my side or in front of me. Of course, there's a lot of talk about the possibility of playing with a back three. We don't know for sure. It's still early days. It's still first trainings. But how much do you feel this could impact, especially the midfield? Because there's been so much talk around the midfield and everything that's been happening in this area of the pitch. I don't know. That depends on the way that the manager wants to play, if he wants to play with a back three or not. It's his ideas. We just have to get into his ideas and do the best we can. Obviously, I think in the past we did it also building up with a back three most of the time. So it was not a clear back three, but also it was not a static one. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Then a new manager comes in with different ideas. It could be that he has different tactics for us. So we have to expect to see it on Sunday. What is the captain's role when a new manager arrives? It's the same as when it was another manager here. I have to do exactly the same as I was doing, obviously trying to help the staff if there's any need of that. It's to push everyone to get on board with the coaching staff, with the new ideas, to make everyone understand that we're going to go in a different way now, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good way. Everyone is expecting to be the good one, and we have to be the ones more excited for that. Good luck on Sunday. Thank you very much.